Welcome to Tiny Pep Talks for Step Parents, a short weekly podcast with new episodes every Sunday. Surprise, it's Dan the husband, filling in for Mart. These are her words, but my voice. Today's topic, when you feel like calling it quits in your blended family. A love lecture for anyone who's considered walking away from step parenting. If I could only pick one message that I want each and every step parent to know, it's this. Yeah, this shit is hard, but you're not alone. So many other step parents have been where you are and made it through. There is hope. This does get better. I'd be lying if I said that message applies to every step parenting situation, though. In fact, step family statistics tell us that 66% of relationships that involve children from a previous relationship don't work out. And that statistic takes into account only couples who made it far enough to move in together or get married. How many don't make it that far? About once a month or so, I'll get a DM or an email from some step parent who tells me they're breaking up with their partner, but they wanted to say goodbye and thank me before they unfollow or unsubscribe. I just can't do this anymore, they'll say apologetically, as if deciding that being done putting themselves through the physical, financial, and emotional wringer of step family life is some kind of personal failing. There's a question that every struggling step parent has asked themselves at some point. A question we're not sure we really want the answer to. Should you walk away from your blended family? Those who say yes would be in the 66% majority. And I don't for one second think it's because those step parents don't care enough or aren't trying hard enough. Because even as someone in that other 34%, I gotta admit that my own answer to that question was pretty mushy. I inexplicably kept telling myself, not yet, while dodging multiple dumpster fires. Until at some point our dynamics shifted enough for me to decide that hopeful seeming light at the end of the tunnel was not an oncoming train. Slow, small improvements finally gained enough traction that I found I didn't need to keep asking myself whether I should call it quits anymore. So while I want to believe that most step parents listening to this find the dysfunction of those early days fades out and step life does get a whole lot better, I do not believe that is true for every step parent. Step parenting doesn't always get easier for all of us. We live in a society that idolizes toxic hustle culture. We're told over and over again, both covertly and overtly, that if you fail at something, well then, clearly you didn't try hard enough. You must not have wanted it enough. But walking away from a relationship that's destroying you isn't giving up or failing. It's loving yourself enough to save yourself. And that can be a brave and beautiful thing. So those are Mart's words. Here's my 2 cents. I gotta say, I feel this personally, that we were so close to not making it. And 100% of that was because of my failing to keep boundaries and protect my family and protect my wife, my partner. Anyhow, if you're listening to this, if you're not in the 100% best relationship of your life, you might want to reconsider. If you don't have the best relationship of your life, particularly as a step parent, this might not be worth it. I'm not to say that you don't love your partner or that there isn't a lot of potential there, but to go through all this crap and not be with the absolute best friend of your life, yeah, why bother? Anyhow, I wish everyone the best. You're amazing. If you're listening to this, it's because you are doing your best to make your step family work, and kudos to you. If you're listening to this podcast, please check the show notes for a link to the full transcript over on Substack, along with a ton of other resources. We would love to see you there and find out how we barely made it through our own blending fiasco and turned out great.